morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Meadsy69 and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be having a look at, again, the T26E5 Sheriff. It's an American Tier 8 heavy premium that originally it was put into blitz in the crates, and my last video it was a bit negative on the tank, and mainly because of crates. I just didn't think it was good enough to be in crates, especially how similar it is to the T26E4 Sherman, Super Persian, sorry. So now it has come for gold. You can get it for what, 10,000 gold without the camo, 12,500 or something like that, maybe 15,000 with the camo. So we're going to have another look at it and just see what it's like compared to the Sherman. Now, I was actually surprised in stat-wise how much better this is than the keep saying the Sherman, the Persian, sorry, the Super Persian. Now, the DPM is much better, and considering this is a heavy tank and the Persian is a medium tank, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. It pretty much has the same gun as the Super Persian, but it has a lot more pen. 221 pen, 2,500 fill 14 DPM. So it has nice DPM. It has not bad penetration. I mean, you can run it with calibrated shells to push it up to 232, which is pretty decent. It has heat as well, so that pushes the heat up to 292. So you're going to go through almost anything. Yes, Kieran. So Kieran is here. So if you use the Super Persian APCR on the Super Persian, I'm not the APCR, the calibrated shells, you can get the APCR to 271. So you can see the penetration wise is much better, and I probably would run it with calibrated shells because the DPM is pretty good anyway. So if you run it with calibrated shells, you lose around 200 DPM, but the penetration is just definitely worth it in my opinion with the heat. So 240 alpha. Which on your Super Persian you've got 225, so more alpha, more DPM, more penetration. You've even got more DPM running this with calibrated shells than you do with the Super Persian running the rammer. I do apologise for the background noise. Rate of fire, as you know, is much better. The reload is 6.16 with the calibrated shells and 5.5, around 5.8 without. Shell velocity much better than the Super Persian. Aim time very good, 1.72, again much better than the Super Persian, and the dispersion is much better than the Super Persian as well at 0.308. The rest is almost equal. The gun depression, the speed, they are all the same. What's really different on this tank is the armor, which we're going to take a look at. So it's got weaker armor than the Super Persian, but it's got a much better turret armor, which we're going to look in Blitz Hanger just at the armor itself. As you can see, it's got spaced armor around the gun mantlet, and the turret is actually very, very strong. Very strong, much stronger than the Super Persian. Now, the Super Persian's turret is quite strong, but the hatch on top is actually really, really weak. What this does have is a weaker hull. I mean, the bottom plate is, you can get it 199 effective. Top plate is quite strong. I mean, if you use the gun depression, you're going to 219. You can get it up 238, and again, the higher you go, the more effective it is. Side scraping. I mean, you can side scrape sort of in this tank a little bit. It's got quite high tracks. Look at that. If you side scrape, 500 effective armor. The hatch on top, I mean, the hatch on top is pretty strong in my opinion. You can just see 230 mil. So that hatch on top is actually very strong. So it's definitely a hold down tank. Now, I wouldn't go facing sidewards or the rear, because that is very, very weak, and people will penetrate you with HE. So definitely a tank to go hold down in. Definitely a tank to go hold down in if you can, or at least wiggle, because that bottom plate will become very hard to pen. The top plate is going to be hard to pen anyway, especially if people are not using Pramo. I mean, people are going to pen it with Pramo, no problem. But that's why you just go hold down. And even the side of the gun mantlet where it is the red. I mean, look at that, 300 effective armor, and the same as the other side, 455. So no one is really going to go through your turret. But you start turning your turret, obviously they become much weaker and people will be able to penetrate you. So we're going to get into just a couple of battles just to see, again, how this tank plays in battle. So we've got two battles for you today, one on Vineyards and one on Himmelsdorf. And average battles, nothing special in my opinion. One thing is, it is a good credit earner. It's a really good credit earner. It's not as good as the Super Persian, but the Super Persian is literally the best. Well, one of the best in the entire game. So nothing really outdo that with the credit wise. So other than that, it does still make decent credits. And as I've said in the intro, it's if you can play this tank hold down, you will get quite a lot of bounces. Now, this battle, we're going to go into the middle here. We didn't go to cap. You've got to remember that this is a heavy tank, and it's kind of hard to think it's a heavy tank after playing the Super Persian, because it's the same speed. The Super Persian is a medium tank, but I've said all along that the Super Persian should be a heavy tank. Now, we are getting shot from the enemy spawn, which I think is actually the Object 252U, who doesn't move from the spawn. So it's a player that has bought a decent tank and he just sits in spawn the entire of this game. So the RU-251 decides to go on a YOLO mission and he gets wrecked. But with me taking him out, I also lose quite a lot of hit points. So, well, almost all my hit points. So we're now going to come in at a different direction. I don't want to stay there because there is quite a few heavies in town. So my team have all flanked around. So I'm going to go with my team. And that's the best way to do it. So there goes the T20. In a minute, mate. There goes the T20, and the Dracula is now going to rush the SU-152. I want to get a one shot on him just because the SU is probably on a reload. And I wanted to bring him down enough HP so the Dracula can take him out. And that's exactly what he does. And now we do find the Object 252U. But at the moment, I'm not really worried about capping base B from the enemy. We're on 600, nearly 700 supremacy points with only 3 tanks left alive, and we have 7. So I don't want to win this by just capping out on the bases. And if I cap B, we would probably definitely cap out on bases, because the Object 252U, look at the minimap, there's 3 tanks on him, and he's going to be dealt with very, very quickly. 30 HP, and the Pantera can take him out. So it just leaves 2 tanks, the Tiger 1 and the Tiger 2. So I'm going to rush the Tiger 1. I'm not worried about getting a shot in return from him. I mean, we can take a couple of shots from him, and it's only going to take us 2 shots to get him out. And as I come around the corner, we do take a shot, but we do put him on fire. And that just leaves now the Tiger 2, and he's already got the T-34 and the SU-152 on him. So here comes the Dracula, 2 HP, and he's been 2 HP for quite a while. So he does a fantastic job in keeping alive, and the T-34 is going to take the SU out. So not quite supremacy points, I mean 995 supremacy points, but we do end on 2.5k damage, nothing special, but with that we still make 86,000 credits, which is pretty decent in my opinion. So next up we are on Himmelsdorf, and this is more of a team game. As a team we do fantastic, but the enemy team, they make so many mistakes and they just make it too easy for us. So we have got 2 light tanks and a medium, and because I'm a heavy, you can get into the heavy positions really quickly because it has medium-ish speed. So we are going to cap out D. The enemy have capped C out, so we know that there's a couple of tanks around there, but they're also capping A, and we've also capped B. So we've got 2 caps each. We're pretty much level on, well, we're dead on level. If you look at the cap points, we're dead on level. We're going up at the exact same time. So here we've got a few of us around on this corner, but the enemy also have a couple of tanks around here. The Chieftain on the enemy team is going to make it very easy for us. We are going to bounce a shot there, and we're going to get a shot from either the Charioteer or the T-34. I think it's the Charioteer. So we do take a shot there. But the Chieftain is just making it so easy for us. He's just poking around the corner, and every time he pokes, we're going to get that shot off. And the same with the charioteer, the challenger, sorry, and the same with the T-34. They're just making it really, really easy for us. We do get a shot from the chieftain, and as you can see, we don't need to expose ourselves too much. We are getting penned on the turret, believe it or not, and we're not going to make it easy for the enemy. We're still going to use this ridgeline, and that challenger has just been wrecked, and stupidly our LTTB rushes in. So I wanted to rush in to help him. That was just a troll bounce from the side of the chieftain. But as I get there, he dies, and now I am getting shot from the lurver. But there goes the chieftain. What's up? In a minute. In a minute. There goes the chieftain. So now I do get shot, but I wanted to risk that shot because it means I can get around the corner, and we do get an ammo rack. Unluckily, he was a one-shot anyway. And the reason I wanted to take that shot off and take that tank out is because now me, the lurver, and the other tank are in different positions. Do get a stupid bounce there. That was my problem. That was my mistake. And we are going to get the shot on the lurver, putting him to a one-shot, and our lurver can take him out. So it now just leaves two tanks, which one of them is going to die very quickly, the T-54 lightweight. He decides to go in the middle, where all of our tanks are pretty much based. So he's going to try and deal with the lurver, but in the meantime, we are going to get the shot off, and we are just going to rush forward now. As long as we don't get shot from the T-49, we take out the lightweight, and it now just leaves 4 against 1, and that is the T-49. We do get a nice 500 plus bounce from him. So he's now on a long reload, so I do know I can poke around the corner, get one shot off. The T-49 does come around the corner, and he is going to take him out literally seconds before I can reload. But still, not a bad battle. Not a bad battle. We bounced 785, which is more hit points than we had left with, and we end on 3,444 damage, and we get 104,000 credits. So will I get the tank? Will I get the tank now I've played it again? No. I still won't get the tank because I still think 10,000 gold is a little bit too much for this tank. If this comes back for sale for around 8,000 gold, then I would probably think about purchasing this tank. But at the moment, I just think it is pointless. Even though it's better stat-wise than the Super Persian, it still kind of plays exactly the same as it. So I just think 10k is too much. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you soon.